Okay, so let's talk about one of the biggest mysteries on our planet. It's a mountain, but it's not Everest. In fact, it's way shorter than Everest. But here's the crazy part. No one has ever successfully climbed it. We're talking about Mount Kailash.
And the stories around it are just chilling. There's this one about a group of professional climbers. Now, these guys were the real deal, not some weekend warriors. But when they tried to scale Kailash, something deeply weird started to happen. They claimed their hair and nails were growing at a ridiculous rate, like their bodies were aging weeks in just a matter of hours. They got so freaked out, they turned back. The legend says that within a year, every single one of them was dead.
And that story right there just throws this huge question out into the open, the one we're going to try and unpack today. What on earth is this mountain hiding? So let's start with the most obvious paradox. We live in a world where people love to climb the unclimbable, right? So why is this one peak completely off limits?
Just look at these numbers. It's kind of wild. Kailash is over 2,000 meters shorter than Everest. On paper, it should be way easier. And yet, you have thousands of people who have stood on top of Everest, while Kailash remains untouched. This clearly isn't about skill. It's about something else entirely.
And believe me, it's not for lack of trying. You have seasoned Russian climbers turning around just because they got this overwhelming feeling that they shouldn't be there. Even Reinhold Messner, this is the guy who first climbed Everest without oxygen, a true legend. He was invited by the Chinese government to climb it, and he said no. He told them to leave the mountain alone. Then, in 2001, they tried to use technology, a helicopter mission on a perfectly clear day, and then, out of nowhere, the weather turns so violent they have to abort immediately. So, right after that whole helicopter fiasco, and with pressure building, the Chinese government just decided, that's it. They officially banned all climbing on Mount Kailash, period. The mountain was sealed off. But see, the mystery isn't just about why we can't climb it. It goes so much deeper. The mountain itself, its location, its geography, it seems to break all the rules. For centuries, people have called Kailash the axis mundi, like the center of the world, a cosmic pillar connecting heaven and earth. And honestly, when you start looking at the numbers and its location, that idea starts to feel unnervingly real. Just think about this for a second. The distance from the top of Mount Kailash all the way to Stonehenge in England, it's reported to be exactly 6,666 kilometers. And you think, okay, that's weird, but it doesn't stop there. The distance from Kailash to the North Pole is also 6,666 kilometers. And to the South Pole, you guessed it, exactly double that, 13,332 kilometers. Could that be a coincidence? Maybe, but wow, what a coincidence. And this theme of perfect, almost unnatural balance plays out right at the mountain's base. You have two lakes right next to each other that are polar opposites. On one side, you have Lake Manasorovar, freshwater, calm, full of life, and shaped like the sun. And on the other, you have Rakshastal, the ghost lake, saltwater, always stormy and turbulent, totally lifeless, and shaped like a crescent moon. It's like yin and yang in liquid form. So we've got strange geography and spooky numbers. Now let's get into the science, because there are signs that this mountain is practically humming with some kind of powerful, unusual energy. Back in 1999, a team of Russian researchers came out with a theory that was an absolute bombshell. They suggested that Kailash isn't a mountain at all. They believe it's actually a massive, ancient, man-made pyramid. And to back that up, some researchers claim they've detected an electromagnetic frequency in the rocks there of around 5,000 gigahertz. Now, to put that into perspective, your Wi-Fi at home runs on 2.4 or maybe 5 gigahertz. This is 1,000 times more powerful. That's a level of energy that physicists say just shouldn't exist in a natural formation. And it's not just that. Satellite data has apparently picked up a magnetic anomaly, a magnetic field up to 8,000 nanotesla stronger than the global average. That's over 100 times stronger than your fridge magnet. It strongly suggests something very unusual is going on deep, deep inside the mountain. Okay, so scientists are trying to explain all this, and they've got two main theories. The first is pretty straightforward. Maybe there's a hidden, dormant volcano messing with things. Plausible. But the second theory is way more interesting. It suggests the mountain could be hollow, with a giant system of caves inside. And what's crazy is that idea lines up perfectly with ancient myths that talk about a hidden city of gods inside Kailash. But honestly, all of that, the energy, the geography, it kind of pales in comparison to the most unsettling claim of all: what this mountain supposedly does to us, to time itself, and to our very bodies. And this brings us right back to that story we started with about the climbers. See, it's not just a one-off tale. It's a deep-rooted local legend. The claim, passed down for generations, is that spending just 12 hours on the slopes of Kailash is the biological equivalent of aging 2 full weeks. Now, science is trying to figure this one out. They've got 3 main ideas, though none are confirmed. It could be the insane UV radiation at that altitude, just frying your cells, or maybe the thin air sends your metabolism into overdrive, literally burning your body out faster. Or, and this ties everything together, maybe that powerful magnetic field is directly messing with our hormones, speeding up our internal clocks. So with all these theories flying around, scientific, spiritual, you name it, there's still just one story of someone actually making it to the top. But here's the thing: they didn't exactly climb it in the way we think of. According to Tibetan folklore, the only person to ever stand on that summit was an 11th century Buddhist sage named Milarepa. But the legends are very clear. He didn't use ropes, he didn't use ice picks. He is said to have reached the peak using nothing but the power of his own spiritual energy. And that spiritual angle just leaves us with even more unanswered questions in our modern world. Like, why do all the commercial airlines seem to go out of their way to avoid flying directly over Mount Kailash? I mean, sure, the terrain is rough, but is that the only reason? Or what about this? The entire region is known for seismic activity, but local tradition swears that the mountain itself has never once trembled. It just stays perfectly, unnaturally still while the ground shakes all around it. How is that even possible? And all of this, all of it, brings us to the final, biggest question. Are we just looking at a massive, cosmic string of coincidences? Or could all these strange signs, the sacred geometry, the bizarre energy, the time distortion, be pointing to something else? Something hidden deep inside that mountain, guarding a secret so profound that the line between science and myth just completely vanishes?